As it's Halloween, I thought I would show you the scariest book I have ever read. House of Leaves by Mark Z Danielewski. There are no gory murders or sadistic torture scenes. The horror is more psychological in nature. But it certainly gets in your head and could easily give you nightmares. My copy is not in the best condition, but somehow that adds to the experience. The yellowing pages and stained back cover only enhance the feeling that this has been passed down from one person to another, all of whom died horribly before their relatives sold it on. It's not a straightforward book. There are several layers of narrative going on, each represented by different fonts. Firstly, there is the story of Johnny Truant, a troubled young man in Los Angeles, who finds a manuscript written by the mysterious Zampano, entitled The Navidson Record, which is an academic study of a movie that may or may not really exist. So there are multiple layers of footnotes and annotations, and that's before the text itself starts doing crazy things. As you can see, this is not a book to be read on a Kindle. The physical object is very much part of the whole package. Zampano's manuscript describes his research into the Navidson Record, a cult movie which has supposedly been critiqued and reviewed by countless publications, although the footnotes keep insisting that neither the movie nor any of the works about it actually exist. But Zampano does provide the reader with detailed descriptions of every scene, even though we learn that he himself was blind. As described, it's kind of paranormal activity style found footage movie, consisting of a series of home movies recorded by the Navidson family, who find a mysterious door in their new house that leads into an impossibly large space, which they attempt to explore, only to find it's bigger and scarier than they could have possibly imagined. The narrative is frequently interrupted by Johnny Truant's notes, most of which describe his sexual encounters with strippers and prostitutes, in sometimes graphic detail. These sections are somewhat controversial, wrenching you away from the Navidson story just as it starts getting interesting. But it provides a fun counterpoint to the main story, which is written in a very dry academic style, and Truant's mental state slowly declines as the book goes on, mirroring the descent into darkness of the characters in Zampano's story. Just as you're starting to get used to all this, the book gets even more experimental, as Zampano explores the classical idea of the labyrinth, including the legend of the Minotaur, all references to which are disturbingly crossed out throughout the entire book. This is where the text starts to become increasingly harder to follow, with footnotes leading to boxes, endless pages of lists, text printed upside down or clockwise or anti-clockwise. It all leaves the reader just as disoriented as the protagonist in the story, as they venture further into the dark, endless labyrinth. The next section is much easier to read, though it continues to experiment with the formatting, with small paragraphs at the top and bottom of each page, sometimes just a few words, sometimes the text goes into two columns. It really helps you to feel like you're following a journey through a twisted path with no idea where it will end. In the end, one of the storylines gets something of a happy ending, while the other is left much more ambiguous. But the book itself is far from over. There are numerous appendices with poems, photographs, drawings and sketches, all fleshing out the fictional reality that's being created. We get numerous letters written by Johnny's mother over a period of years, which provide an insight into his mental state. And finally, there's a crazily detailed index, which lets you look up every occurrence of common words like for and with and can. It must have taken ages to put together and is of very little practical use. It's an absolutely mesmerising read. The levels of detail put into every layer of a story and the sheer inventiveness of the designs and layouts really draw you in as no ordinary book ever could. It will haunt your dreams and waking moments for a very long time. If you can get hold of a copy, then I would very much recommend it. I haven't read any of the author's other works. He did start a 27-volume series called The Familiar, but only 5 volumes of that were ever released. but I've just learned that his new novel, Tom's Crossing, has just come out. So maybe I'll talk about that next Halloween. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.